Hi everyone, Josh Rucker here with a quick video update. We've got severe thunderstorms that are pushing in northwest Arkansas as we speak right now. Still a lot of stuff going on behind me, I know, but got to get this live update going because I know a lot of folks are probably wondering. I see a bunch of comments from people that are concerned about these thunderstorms. So let's get right to it right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at Holly Heating Coil Mega Doppler to kick things off right now. Here's a look at that severe thunderstorm that's currently located over Delaware County and portions of northwestern Benton County. Again, this severe thunderstorm warning goes until 8:30 a.m. The storm is moving off to the east at 60 miles per hour. It's warned for 60-mile-per-hour winds. Hail is below severe limits, so around nickel-sized hail. Now, the good news about this storm, if anybody's wondering about it, it's dropped its tornado possible tag. A lot of these storms have had tornado possible tags this morning just off to our west. Very significant wind damage being reported in a lot of locations. But now this particular severe thunderstorm is starting to weaken just a little bit more. So that's a good sign right there. We're keeping a close eye on it still. But I do think these storms are on a weakening trend as they push into northwest Arkansas. So that's the good news. We will have additional showers and storms as we move throughout the rest of the day today. But I just want to give you a heads up. It could get a little bit loud in northern Benton County, southwest Missouri, and into Delaware County. Let's take a look at storm relative velocity. There are still some areas of rotation here potentially that we're going to be watching very closely, but they aren't nearly as tight as what they were earlier. We're also getting a little bit farther away from the radar, so just make sure you're aware of that. But again, these little areas here, we have to watch very, very closely because sometimes they can cause those spin-up tornadoes that can sneak up on you very quickly. And they happen in like one scan too. Like they can happen just like that. Could also be maybe the hail or something like that that's showing up there. Sometimes that's the case, especially if it's within the storm. But see, maybe a little bit of a nudge right there, a little bit of a nub near Grove, a reflectivity nub. That's something we'll be watching very closely. Let's look at normalized rotation again. Yet weak rotation, but it is there. It is showing up there. So we're going to be watching that very closely there, just off to the north and east of Grove. Another area of rotation here north of J. This is all along Highway 59. So this is something to watch very, very closely here. Again, these storms can ramp up very, very quickly. That's why we're on this. That's where we're keeping a close eye on it. And that's where we're going to be keeping you safe as these storms push to the area. But this is really the only concerning storm at this time. There's another severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for western Delaware County. This storm is falling apart. This storm doesn't look very impressive anymore. And this one will be pushing towards the Salem Springs area very, very soon. I want to look at some WeatherBug Network cameras here. And, okay. And we're going to have to go on air. We got a tornado warning. All right, guys, we got a tornado warning. I kind of expected that with this storm. So we're going to have to do a tornado warning here. So stand by for just a minute. I'm the only one in studio right now, so bear with me, but we're going to get this going, all right? All right, we got a tornado warning in effect. We're going to be switching to live coverage very, very soon. Stand by, folks. We're going to be getting this up for you in just a minute here. Guys, let me know when you're ready. Could somebody go in there and
Yeah, Jam. I thought Jam.
Yeah, they need it. Yeah, what's up? We got a tornado warning. We got to be on air. Okay, but somebody needs to talk in my ear real quick. We got people live on the live stream. So again, this is a tornado warning in effect for northeastern Delaware County right now and northern Benton County. We're watching that very closely. It's moving off to the east right now at 60 miles per hour. Here's a look at it on storm relative velocity. Again, guys, tell me in my ear when we're going to be coming on air. All right. Yep, I can hear you. Yes, sir. Okay. Are we going to start from the wall? So here's a look. There's two areas of rotation right here. Again, this is the two areas I was talking about. One of those areas is northeast of Grove. Another one is northeast of J right now. Both of these storms are moving off to the east at about 60 miles per hour. There's another tornado warning I was just talking about. All right, let me know, guys. Are we coming on air? I'm ready. All right. We'll just start at the wall. Yep. All right, guys, we're switching to live coverage on TV. Let's go. Hi everyone, Josh Rugger here with a weather alert. We've got a tornado warning or two tornado warnings that are in effect for our weather coverage area right now. We're going to take you through both of them. I'm the only one in the studio right now, so I'm going to be stepping off the wall here and there, but I want to show you the two areas of rotation. We've got the first area of rotation just off to the north and east of Jay. There's that tornado warning right there. This does include eastern Delaware County as well as northern Benton County. This includes the Gravette area. So if you are in this tornado warning, you need to be taking your tornado precautions right now, especially in the Gravette area. I know some folks were talking about tornado sirens going on. We've got another tornado warning that's in northeastern Delaware County. You can see that area of rotation right there. Again, this is that QLCS type setup that we always talk about that can sometimes produce tornadoes. These cells can ramp up very, very quickly. So this is why we've been watching it very closely throughout the morning hours. All right, so we're going to be going back and forth here between Mega Doppler, and we're going to be looking at our radar scans. So we're going to go back here to the Tulsa radar on Weather 1. We've already got that pulled up right now. We're going to take you through a storm track here and make sure everybody knows where this storm is moving. So again, this tornado warning is in effect, the one that's in Benton County, until 8:30 a.m. So we're going to be zooming in on that tornado warning right there. Again, this is near the Jay, Oklahoma area right now, just off to the east of Jay. We're going to actually take a radar track right now and let you know which way that storm's moving. Again, it's moving off to the east at 60 miles per hour. So, folks, you need to be taking your tornado precautions right now in northeastern Delaware County and northwestern Benton County. We're going to do that tornado track right here just off to the east of Jay. This storm is moving very fast, folks. So if you're in Bella Vista, you need to be watching this storm very closely. But here's a look at some of those areas of interest right there. So Gravette, 8:23 a.m. That's when that area of rotation is going to be moving towards your area. Highlands Golf Course, 8:28, just off to the north and west of Bella Vista. 8:33 a.m. in the Bella Vista area. Bear Hollow School at 8:35 a.m. and Lake Ann at 8:36 a.m., as well as the Metfield Golf Complex at 8:37 a.m. So again, folks, this is a fast-moving storm. This tornado warning only in effect for another 25 minutes or so, but if this continues, this will be moving through northern portions of Benton County. We've got another tornado warning that's in effect to the north of that. This particular storm, again, is in northeastern Delaware County right now. It is a separate tornado warning. This particular tornado warning also goes until 8:30 a.m., and this storm is moving to the east at about 50 miles per hour. So we're going to take this track off for you real quick. We're going to move off to the north and east here near Grove. We're going to take that track, and we're going to move it to the east here. Again, this is going at about 50 miles per hour. As you can see, this storm is going to be moving through portions of Berry and McDonald County. So according to our future track here, 8:27 a.m. in the Anderson area, 8:30 a.m. in Pineville, 8:30 a.m. at the Pineville School. So if you're at the Pineville School right now, you need to be watching the storm very closely. 8:33 a.m. in Erie and 8:36 a.m. in McNatt. So again, two tornado warnings right now that are currently in effect for northwest Arkansas and portions of northeastern Oklahoma. We're going to go back here to Mega Doppler. So we're going to go back to Weather 1 here and look at Mega Doppler. The good news is this storm has been weakening just a little bit. That's moving into Benton County. You can see that right here on Mega Doppler. If we go back a few scans here, you can see how that was a little bit stronger as it moved through Jay. Thankfully, I didn't see anything on our tornado debris signature, so that's a good sign there. But we're still going to be watching this very closely. And, hey, maybe those tornado warnings have been dropped off as well, so that would be a great sign. But we're not going to let our guard down yet because there is still a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag on this storm. But, again, it is right now 8:12 a.m. We're watching two areas of rotation very closely. The southern area of rotation has kind of dropped off just a little bit there over the last few scans. The northern rotation is very broad right now as it moves towards Tiff City. So we're going to zoom in on this area of interest real quick. Again, this is just off to the south and west of Anderson right now. That area of rotation is moving off to the east at about 50 miles per hour. Based on what I'm seeing on radar right now, folks, I think this storm is starting to weaken just a little bit, which is a fantastic sign. But again, if you live in the Pineville area, if you live in Gravette, if you live a little bit farther west, maybe towards the Maysfield area, Sulphur Springs, I would still be watching this storm very closely, and I would go ahead and take those tornado precautions. The reason why I say that is because sometimes these storms can strengthen again. And this is the area of rotation right here. Again, more than likely, there's nothing on the ground right now with that area of rotation. In fact, it's much weaker. But with these types of setups, it can strengthen again. And we just had that tornado warning. I think those tornado warnings have both expired as well. I'm just confirming that at this time. But I think those tornado warnings have been allowed to expire there in northeastern Delaware County and for northwestern Benton County. But we're going to stay on this because this storm right here that's in southwest Missouri has my interest right now. Now, remember, the National Weather Service office in Springfield is going to take over warnings on this storm. So that's why we have a new severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag attached to it. So we're going to go right back to the radar here, or live Doppler radar, and take a look at the storm. Now, if you live in the Bentonville, Bella Vista areas, right now you are not under a severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning. However, we are still going to keep an eye on the storm. So if you live in Centerton, Bentonville, Bella Vista, you need to be keeping an eye on the storm. I wouldn't take those tornado precautions right now, but I would be weather aware at this time. But it does look like those tornado warnings have been dropped off on both of those storms. If I turn on these warnings here so you can take a look at what we've got going on here, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning again with a tornado possible tag that does include northeastern Delaware County and western Benton County. That goes until 8:30 a.m. That's for 60-mile-per-hour winds and nickel-sized hail. And again, there is that tornado possible tag attached to that tornado warning. We've also, severe thunderstorm warning. We've also got that other severe thunderstorm warning. This was issued by the National Weather Service office in Springfield, and this does include McDonald County, and that goes until 9 a.m. It also has a tornado possible tag. This storm a little bit stronger. It has 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. I will say this, if you live in Goodman, if you live in Pineville, I would go ahead and take those tornado precautions right now. Here's the reason why. I'm going to go back to Mega Doppler, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. This rotation is a little bit more concerning right now. There's two areas of rotation that are moving through southwestern Missouri right now, just off to the north and west of Pineville and Anderson. You can see that right here on radar. This is the Tulsa radar, so this is a little bit farther away, but there's two areas of rotation that I'm watching very closely right now. We're going to make sure that these don't tighten up a little bit as they move off to the north and east. But those are two areas of interest right there. If we jog a little bit farther to the south, towards northwest Arkansas, there is still some broad rotation with that storm near Maysville right now. So, again, there's a tornado possible tag attached to this. If you live in Sulphur Springs, if you live in Gravette, you need to be watching this storm very closely. I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer here and take a closer look at that area of rotation. Again, if you live near Tim Lake Road right now, keep a close eye on this storm. A little bit farther to the north and east, near Sulphur Springs, near Sibley Road. Keep a close eye on this storm as well as it moves off to the east at 60 miles per hour. So you don't have a whole lot of time to take those tornado precautions if you live in these areas. State Highway 59, of course, near Gravette. We're watching that very closely. A little bit farther to the east here, Butler Creek Road. Be keeping an eye on these storms. So if you live anywhere around Sulphur Springs, north of Gravette, east of Maysville, you need to be watching the storm very closely. There's nothing there that's too concerning at this time. This rotation's kind of falling apart, but there is still a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag on this storm in northern Benton County until 8:30 a.m. I'm going to go back to the north here. We're keeping an eye on this storm as well. That's moving into southwestern Missouri, just west of Anderson, just east of Tiff City. Again, there's some rotation there that we're watching very closely. It is pretty broad at this time, but kind of two areas of interest right there that we're watching just off to the south and west of Goodman. The good news is that the tornado warnings have been dropped off on these storms, but a lot of times with these QLCS setups, we can see things ramp up very, very quickly, and that's why we're going to remain on these thunderstorms right now here in northwest Arkansas and in southwest Missouri. I'm keeping an eye on the Facebook chat as well. Again, I'm just making sure everybody is okay right now. I see a lot of folks are asking about Bella Vista. Again, Bella Vista is not under any current warnings right now. So if you live in Bella Vista, you're not under a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning. However, this storm that is dangerous right now is tracking towards your area. If we do see that warning continued, that will be within the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. So we're going to let you know about that. That's why we're on air right now. We had a couple of tornado warnings that were in progress, but we are going to stay on this storm for just a few more moments at least, because I'm interested to see how that rotation is in southwest Missouri. I do not want to drop off yet until I see that rotation drop off a little bit more. But again, there's that area right there in southwestern Missouri. There's not a tornado warning on it, but it does have a tornado possible tag I will say the rotation is very broad at this time. It looked a little bit more impressive about 5 to 10 minutes ago. If we go back in time, you can see where those tornado warnings were. Again, this is how quickly it ramps up, folks. It can go from 0 to 100 very quickly. These storms were weakening quite a bit as they pushed towards northeast Oklahoma and northwest Arkansas. They strengthened. That prompted the tornado warnings, and now they're weakening a little bit again. But we're going to be watching this very, very closely as it moves off to the north and east. I will say the good news is that these storms that are moving into western Benton County are on the weaker side right now. At least they're a little bit weaker. However, there is still some pretty strong winds that are moving towards the Gravette area. I am interested in seeing maybe a view of this over our Bella Vista camera. I'm going to go to our Bella Vista WeatherBug Network camera right now. Again, the contrast, not great at this time with this particular camera, so it's kind of hard to pinpoint things. Based on what I'm seeing there's nothing too concerning there near Bella Vista right now, but we'll keep a close eye on it. Let's go to our Decatur WeatherBug Network camera. You can see some rain pushing through. Again, I don't see this camera is facing towards that area of interest. Don't see anything there that's too concerning right now, but we're going to keep a close eye on it there. Again, if you live in Sulphur Springs, Gravette, Decatur, you are not under a tornado warning right now, but you will more than likely see some strong winds within the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. Unfortunately, we don't have any WeatherBug Network cameras in southwest Missouri, but we are going to keep an eye on this area of rotation. I think I'm going to give this one more scan. If this continues to weaken a little bit more, we'll drop off of live coverage. But again, we did have some tornado warnings that were in effect for portions of Delaware County and Benton County. That's why we're on air right now. We're watching these storms very closely. I'm going to give this one more scan, and then we'll drop off the coverage. If you want to continue to watch our live stream, you can join us on Facebook as well as X. You can follow us there. Dan Scoff has that on his stream on X. I've also got my Facebook page and the KNWA Facebook page. Again, we're going to have live streaming coverage on there once we drop off air. But I'm going to give this one more scan here just to make sure there's nothing there that's tightening up. Very broad rotation right now near the Anderson area. Again, you can see maybe a little bit of a reflectivity nub right there. If we go to normalized rotation, again, not too impressive right now, but it was a little bit more impressive just a few moments ago, which is why we had those tornado warnings that were in effect. But I think we're good to go ahead and drop off of wall-to-wall live coverage. Again, if we do have another tornado warning that is issued, we will come back on air. You can join us on our social media pages again on Facebook and X, and we'll continue to keep you posted on the latest information. Thank you so much for trusting your Weather Authority team. Stay safe and have a great rest of your Tuesday. All right, folks. Yeah, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Yes. So that's what I was talking about, guys. This is why we never let our guard down with these types of storms, because they can prompt tornado potential very, very quickly. Thank you, guys, for your patience. Again, I'm the only one here in studio right now, so this is why sometimes I'm not able to be on the wall as much. I'm kind of at the desk, but hopefully I gave you guys some good information there. Thankfully, we don't have a tornado warning in effect anymore for northwest Arkansas or southwest Missouri. However, we are still watching the storm very closely in southwest Missouri. Again, there's this area of interest right there that we can't let our guard down on. There's also this area of interest west of Gravette. So just keep an eye on this, guys. Stay out of this room. Yeah, so we'll need to stay out of this room, and we probably need to keep an eye on this as well, because this could ramp back up again. If we have to get back on air, we'll have to do that. But yeah, there's still some areas of interest here, folks. And again, this is why they have that severe thunderstorm warning with that tornado possible tag on it. It looks like a new severe thunderstorm warning was just now issued as well. So we'll look at that right now. It looks like there's no tornado possible tag on this particular severe thunderstorm warning, so that's good news. But let's go ahead and click on that. Here's the new severe thunderstorm warning. So this is the new severe thunderstorm warning. Again, a lot of folks were asking about Bella Vista. This does include Bella Vista. A lot of folks were wondering about Centerton, Bentonville, Pea Ridge, Rogers. This is the new severe thunderstorm warning. This goes until 9 a.m. And again, this does include Delaware, Benton, and western Carroll County. No tornado possible tag on this storm, but we are watching it very, very closely as it moves off to the east at about 60 miles per hour. Let's go back to Mega Doppler here so we can show you that new severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect. Again, there's that polygon right there that does include Bentonville and Pea Ridge. Very heavy rainfall, frequent lightning, strong winds, all possible with the storm right now. Bentonville is dry, but that's going to be changing. At the very least, we've got some strong winds that are moving through the area at this time, especially in Gravette, Decatur, Gentry. I know some folks are asking about that. Gravette, you're probably getting some very heavy rain right now, some strong winds. It's going to be moving over you within the next couple of minutes or so. And then once it pushes out, as severe the risk is done, at least for this morning. But I want to go to some WeatherBug Network cameras because we're finally starting to get some better contrast on these cameras. Here's the Decatur camera. So you can see here comes that lower area right there. That's a little bit of an area of interest, folks. You see that kind of on the right side of your screen right there, kind of that ragged base. That could potentially be a lowering right there that's moving right over Decatur. So this is why we're watching it very closely. At the very least, that's got some strong winds associated with it. And that's moving off to the east at 60 miles per hour right now. So this is going to be on top of you very, very quickly, folks. We're going to watch the shelf cloud feature roll right over Decatur right now. And you'll probably see that rain kind of whip a little bit. A lot of raindrops kind of getting in the way there of that base, but that is a kind of a ragged base right there. I know a lot of folks are asking about Bentonville right now. I'm going to get a storm track going, but we're going to keep an eye on this track here and keep an eye on this camera as that storm rolls right over the Decatur area. So the storm has slowed down just a little bit. I'm going to zoom out here. We're gonna get you a fresh track on this storm here. So stand by for just a few moments, folks. The most dangerous part of the storm is moving right over Gravette. So we're going to carry this storm track just off to the east at 50 miles per hour. And I'm going to pull up Weather 1 here real quick to show you that fresh storm track because I know some folks are wondering about that. So Wassee at 8:30 a.m., Bentonville at 8:39 a.m. So within the next 10 to 15 minutes, you are going to start seeing that very heavy rainfall there in the Bentonville area. Pea Ridge at 8:45 a.m., Bridgewater at 8:48, Garfield at 8:54 a.m., Gateway at 8:58, and Bush at 9:04 a.m. So these are all the areas right now that we're watching very closely with that thunderstorm. That's the most dangerous part of the storm right now. And again, there was a little bit of rotation there. We saw that on that Decatur camera just a few moments ago. And I'm still keeping an eye on Mega Doppler as well because that is a bit of a look right there near Gravette. Again, that's trying to pop up there. If we go to normalized rotation, it does line up with the normalized rotation, lines up with base reflectivity as well. So at the very least, some very strong winds are moving into the Gravette area right now. Now I'm going to pivot to this storm in southwest Missouri real quick because I want to make sure the folks there know what's going on. Looks like the area of rotation is moving north of Goodman now. So it's about to get out of our weather coverage area. So that's the good news there. There's another area here near Pineville that we're watching very closely. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag attached to it in southwest Missouri right now. But this is very broad rotation. And again, it's starting to move out of our weather coverage area. I'm not going to let my guard down with that storm either because that could move into portions of Berry County as well. Right now, it's only in McDonald County, but that could be moving into Berry County very, very quickly. But again, the most concerning storm for northwest Arkansas is now east of Gravette. Now it's moving right over Decatur. Let's go to that Fulbright Junior High School WeatherBug Network camera. We're going to be able to get a good look at the base of that thunderstorm. Again, the contrast is not the best right now on this storm, but you can at least see the base as it's rolling in. Let's see here with this Fulbright camera. I'm going to try to turn this a little bit farther to the north and east as well right now. So I'm going to go to Fulbright here. We're going to turn that camera northeast a little bit so we can see that area of interest. So you see the camera move just a little bit. Actually, no, we don't want to move this way, move northwest. We're going to move it back this way. Stand by for just 1 second here. Want to make sure we don't have that camera facing the pole. There we go. We've got that camera facing northwest. The contrast will get a little bit better, so just bear with me here. But it does look like that storm is starting to come into view. So within the next 10 to 15 minutes or so, we are going to be able to see it. Andy, we do not have the Gravette camera. I'm sorry. I wish we had the Gravette camera. We do not have the Gravette camera. So we're not going to be able to get a view of that. We've been wanting that camera for a long time, and it's for situations like this. So hopefully this kind of ushers that in for us. But let's look at Bella Vista's camera as well. We're watching that storm move in very closely here. Again, the storm is moving off to the east at 50 miles per hour. So, Carrie, I'm going to go back here to weather one. Here's a look at the storm. Again, Bentonville, within the next 10 to 15 minutes, you are going to be seeing some very strong winds move through the area. Pea Ridge at 8:45, Bridgewater at 8:48, and Garfield at 8:54 a.m. Let's go through that Decatur camera as well because I saw some pretty strong winds moving through there. Look at that. Very strong winds moving through Decatur right now. I know some folks probably hearing their power flicker at this time. It looks like some strong winds, maybe around 50 miles per hour moving through Decatur. Now, if you're in Decatur right now, folks, you are not dealing with a tornado, but you are dealing with very strong winds. And I could show you that on Mega Doppler. So the area of interest is east of Gravette now. But in Decatur, there's some strong straight line winds moving through the area, and that could cause just as much damage as a tornado. Fayetteville is in the clear. This is just for Benton County right now. So this is a Benton County storm right now. Fayetteville, there's not any concerning thunderstorms at this time. It's all Benton County right now. There will be some rain moving into Fayetteville, but the most concerning thunderstorm is located in Benton County. Okay, we're getting some reports of the power out at Gravette schools. Thank you so much for that report. That's very important. Let's take a look at that Bentonville Fulbright Junior High School camera again. Here's a look at that right now. So, Rachel, right now, we do not have any tornado warnings in effect. I don't see anything that says that we need to take our tornado precautions at this time. But what we are seeing is one of those things where you need to stay away from windows. And you need to be watching this storm very closely and keeping track of this live stream because we're going to let you know if things are starting to ramp up again. But this is our Bentonville Fulbright Junior High School WeatherBug Network camera. I know a lot of folks are getting some reports of power, maybe some power outage issues right now in Gravette. Thank you so much for that report there in Gravette. I know some folks are also asking about Sulphur Springs. Sulphur Springs, the storm has passed east of you. You're good. At least the dangerous part of the storm. You may still see some heavy rainfall, some small hail, but the dangerous part of the storm has moved off to the east of you. Let's go to the Bentonville Square camera. Ominous skies there, but a little bit too far away to actually see anything. Let's go to Bella Vista right now because that area of interest should be moving right through the Bella Vista area. Okay, so somebody's saying tornado warning for Neosho. Now, here's the thing, Red. That is out of our weather coverage area. So this is what we're talking about. So this storm has ramped up north of, and this is what I was talking about just a few moments ago. This storm is moving out of our weather coverage area now, so we're not going to be live on air. But if you've got family who live in Newtonia, farther to the north and east near Stark City and Sweetwater, they need to be taking their tornado precautions. I know this is not in our weather coverage area, folks, but I know a lot of people that may have family that live here southeast of Neosho. They need to be taking their tornado precautions because there is a tornado warning. And again, this is not for Benton County right now. So this does not include our DMA. So we're not going to go on air for it. But I just want to let people know that there is a tornado warning that's now out of our weather coverage area in southwestern Missouri. Yeah, thank you so much for the report right now. So Jackie, we'll look at the power outage situation once these storms kind of fall below severe limits. What matters right now is we're going to keep an eye on this storm that's moving through Benton County and make sure it doesn't start ramping up because we cannot let our guard down. Here's the good news. Over the last few scans, that area of rotation, that kind of area of interest that was near Gravette, it's kind of falling apart. I will say that storm that happened near Gravette is very interesting. Just a few moments ago, I know a lot of folks were talking about very intense winds. That may have been a bit of a gust front or RFD surge right there in Gravette for just a few moments. And now you're starting to see this storm maybe kind of gust out just a little bit there. So that's a good sign. That means the rotation is winding down, but it could also mean that the winds are ramping up. So let's go. You know what's going to be a great camera? Our Rogers Pinnacle Parkway Towers cam. I bet we'll have a pretty good view of the storm. It's a pretty clear camera as well. So stand by for just a few moments here. We're going to move this camera just off to the west now. So let me pull the Rogers Pinnacle Parkway Towers cam up. We're going to move this camera off to the north and west. And here's a look at it. Man, the contrast is not the best, but at least we can get a look at it. And again, from this view, doesn't look too concerning for tornado potential. And looking at radar, it also doesn't look too bad either. So that's the good news there with this storm. I think this storm is finally starting to weaken, but we are not going to let our guard down on it whatsoever because it could strengthen again. So we got a lot of folks talking about Bentonville right now, getting dark and windy in Bella Vista. Let's go back to that Bella Vista camera. There it is, right there. There's a storm. So now we're getting some better contrast. So we're actually able to see the base of this thunderstorm. And as you can see, it's moving into Bella Vista right now as we speak. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that camera is pointing in the right direction so that we can have a view of it as it's moving in. And go ahead and record that camera too. We're also going to record our opposing mountain camera just in case the storm continues to maintain its strength. But again, if you live in Pea Ridge, you need to be keeping an eye on this. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning right now in Pea Ridge. This storm's going to be rolling in. There is the potential for 60-mile-per-hour winds. Nickel-sized hill. Look at that ragged base right there, folks. You can see that ragged base there off in the distance. That's an interesting storm that's moving into Bella Vista. That definitely has some strong winds associated with it. So we're going to have to watch that very closely. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for Benton County. This goes until 9 a.m. This storm is moving off to the east at 50 miles per hour. The expected hazards are 60-mile-per-hour winds. No tornado possible tag on this storm, but it does have a history of producing tornado warnings. Man, that is a scud bomb right there, I think, off in the distance. That is a very ragged base over Bella Vista right now. My goodness. That storm is cranking in Bella Vista. So we're going to stay on this camera because we need to keep an eye on this storm as it moves through. I'm not seeing any tornado potential right now, but there's definitely a base there with that storm, and there's some scud also getting lifted up into the base as well. So I think we've got a storm spotter as well that's out in the field. I think James Hillinger is out there. So, folks, bear with me. I'm by myself right now, so I'm going back and forth between a bunch of different things. I'm just making sure we've got as many views of the storm as possible. I want to make sure people are warned about it. But Bella Vista, you're about to get some very strong winds as that shelf cloud moves through and that lowering moves through as well. Man, that's a very intense storm right there. That's moving into Bella Vista. So we're gonna stay on this for a little bit longer here and just make sure this doesn't drop off. But man, this storm ramped up very, very quickly. I know a lot of folks are getting a lot of reports in of power outages, and we really appreciate those reports. We're gonna kind of assess that as we move throughout the next several minutes. But first, we just want to make sure that everybody is warned about these storms right now. So that's why we're staying on it. Okay. I'm going to pull up a live stream here from James Hillinger. He is out in the field right now. And we're going to pull that up after this area of interest moves overhead. But we're going to stay on this storm for just a little bit longer. And we're going to stay on this camera for just a little bit longer as it rolls overhead. I'm going to pull up actually another workspace here. That way we can actually pull up James Hillinger and make sure you guys can see where our stream is located and stuff like that. But there's the lowering moving right over Bella Vista. You're about to see some very strong winds. Once that area moves right overhead, that's when those strong winds will start to ramp up again. Man, that thing is cranking right now. That thing is moving fast. Look at how fast that motion is over Bella Vista. So that wind is starting to really push in. You can see that lowering that area, maybe a broad rotation moving over Bella Vista right now. It's moving right over our camera. We're about to lose visual of it, but you're going to see some blinding wind and rain moving right on top of Bella Vista here. Great camera shot there, Bella Vista. Very glad we were able to get that view. So if you're in Bella Vista, heavy rain, strong winds moving through, frequent lightning, certainly a possibility as well as it moves overhead. So we will be keeping a close eye on that. We're about to move to James Hillinger's stream here. I think he's currently located in Bentonville, so he's about to get some very strong winds in just a few moments. This is, let's go back here. I'm actually going to pull this up, so give me just a few moments here, folks. We're going to go back to Mega Doppler real quick here and just make sure we've got his stream pulled up. So we're kind of going back and forth here. So again, this very heavy rain moving through Bella Vista right now. And if we go back to Mega Doppler, you can see here that we've got those thunderstorms moving right along the I-49 corridor. We got meteorologist Peyton Langford, who's now here.
Hauled butt to get here.
Had to haul in to get in here. So Peyton,
Just in case.
looks like this storm may be kind of gusting
Breaking.
out a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Final breath.
but some very strong winds moving through the Bella Vista area as we speak. We've got James Hillinger is actually on the storm, so I'm going to pull up his stream here, and we're going to have that pulled up. But right now, if you live in Pea Ridge, Bentonville, and Rogers,
Right?
now just go ahead and pull that up over there for me. If you live in Pea Ridge, Bentonville, Rogers, Cave Springs, and Lowell, you're about to get some strong winds, very heavy rainfall, frequent lightning, certainly a possibility. Let's look at the lightning situation right now. So quite a bit of lightning on the northern part of the storm. And again, that storm really intensified in southwest Missouri with that tornado warning. But there's not as much lightning on the southern part of the storm. So that's a good sign. Typically, that means it might be weakening a little bit. Man, it does look like it's weakening on base reflectivity. That's for sure. So starting maybe to see the last gasp of this storm as it moves off to the east, but still not going to let our guard down. There's still these little areas of interest. I know some folks are wondering about hail. I'm not seeing any hail really with this storm right now. That's kind of dropped off quite a bit. Very heavy rain, though, about to move through Bentonville. Let's go to our Rogers Pinnacle Parkway Towers cam real quick here. So I got that pulled up. There's our Rogers Pinnacle Parkway Towers cam. I'm also going to get James's stream pulled up here. Peyton pulled that up on the other computer. So we're going to look at this camera for another 20 minutes or so. Let's pull up these custom spotters to see where James is. So James is kind of on the backside of the storm now. So he's going to not really have a visual of the lowering. But here is his stream right now. So again, he's right now located just off to the west of Bentonville. He's north of Centerton right now. He's on the backside of the storm. So at this point, James is now west of the area of interest at this point. Let's keep an eye on this Bentonville area, though. So Greg Turner is also out there.
I think he's live as well.
So he's live right now. Let's go to let's see here. Hey, Josh, on CC, is that debris signature or contamination? Very broad at this point. So let's see what you're looking at right now. I don't see anything there. It's likely just contamination. That looks pretty uniform to me. I don't see anything that's too concerning there. We're looking at it behind the scenes right now. But, Brian, I don't see anything right now that's too concerning. I am on the Tulsa radar, so.
You switch to Mega Doppler now, give me a chance to change streams.
Yeah. Yeah, so Peyton's
Great
is gonna switch streams here. We're gonna go back to Heil Heating Cooling Mega Doppler. I'm gonna go back up to the north here. But here's the storm right now. It's moving through Bentonville. So we've got very strong winds moving through Bentonville right now.
Greg Turner's up.
Okay, thank you for that, Peyton.
Yep.
I'll get that pulled up here in just a few moments. Huh.
Do we have a banner?
I don't see his banner on here.
All right.
That's all right. Well, we can just show this. So stand by. We're pulling up Greg Turner's stream right now. The computers have been moving like a slug today.
Of course.
But here's a look at Greg Turner's stream. So he's a little bit closer, and you can see the wind kind of whipping where he is right now. So he's definitely in some strong winds at this time. We kind of go to Mega Doppler here. Here's Greg's current location right now near the Walmart home office. If we go back here, you can see he's experiencing some strong winds on the backside of that storm. So he's pretty much in the spot where you're going to see the strongest winds from the storm. So if you're near NWAC, Little Flock, Rogers, Prairie Creek, you're about to experience some strong winds as well. As that storm moves off to the east at 60 miles per hour, moving very, very fast. Let's look at some other WeatherBug Network cameras. There's the Pea Ridge camera. Look at that. There's a ragged base. Yep. There's a ragged base moving overhead. So it's nothing there is too concerning to me.
I want to point that a little bit.
For tornado potential. But Peyton's going to adjust this camera so we can keep an eye on this lower area. But what you're going to see here is the winds are going to start whipping. Once that base moves overhead, that's when the winds start picking up again. but there's a bit of a lowering there still. Man, that thing is moving
Dude,
fast.
it's so fast.
It's moving so fast. I mean, you just have to keep an eye on it. You have to keep your eyes glued on these things. So, Sydney, there is no tornado, but there is very strong winds. That's for sure. And maybe in an attempt at maybe some strengthening again here near P Ridge, to be honest with you. That is pretty impressive.
Dude, it's so fast. You have to constantly move the camera.
I know.
60 miles per hour, right?
Yeah, moving at 60 miles per hour. So, just to give people a heads up, we have a severe thunderstorm warning that remains in effect for portions of Benton County right now. I'm going to pull that up. I just switched to weather one severe because. Okay,
Hey,
Aiden, where are you? I don't think you're in a tornado, but you're definitely in some probably some strong winds
yeah.
that may feel like a tornado. And the thing about straight line winds, they can cause just as much damage as a tornado. So that's why we're not going to let our guard down on this. But here's a look at the severe thunderstorm warning. I'm going to go back to weather one here real quick, Peyton. Here's a look at the severe thunderstorm warning. It remains in effect until 9 a.m. It does include Pea Ridge, Bentonville, Rogers, Garfield, Gateway, War Eagle. 60-mile-per-hour winds. Hail is well below severe limits if there is any hail at all. I don't think there is any hail really with this storm. But it's moving off to the east at 60 miles per hour. So it is booking it at this time. Wonder if our Garfield camera is going to have a good view of this.
Yeah, probably.
I think it's tilting west too.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the Garfield camera right now. Peyton's adjusting it at this time.
Looking a little bit more west-northwest. You can see the shelf way off in the distance.
Way off in
in the
distance.
bottom right part of your screen there.
So the contrast is going to be terrible.
Yeah.
Which is why it kind of looks a little hazy off in the distance. But once it gets closer, you'll be able to see those features. So I'm going to, Peyton, you keep an eye on that camera on the side. I'm going to go back to Mega Doppler real quick and just give people a little tour of this storm. So again, we've got tornado warning that's northeast of our weather coverage area. This tornado warning does not include our weather coverage area, which is why we're not live on air. But if you've got folks that live maybe near Monette, this tornado warning could get into Berry County if it maintains its strength. We'll have to watch that. It'll be brief, but it may get extended. We'll have to watch that very closely. So if you're living Southwest Missouri, I don't want to abandon Southwest Missouri here. There is a severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for Berry County. That goes until 9:45 a.m. It's for 60-mile-per-hour winds and $half sized hail, and I guarantee you there's a tornado possible. There's not. That's interesting. Okay, but I do want to talk about this warning real quick, just to give folks an update. Hold on. Huh.
What's up?
I'm getting conflicting information here. Okay, so this warning over here on Mega Doppler said there's not a tornado possible. This warning says there is a tornado
DR does not do it. Dan's been asking for ages
Just
for
ridiculous.
them to do tornado possible.
Okay, so I know folks are asking about what's going on in Benton County. I am going to get to that again, but I need to keep folks updated in Southwest Missouri because, to be honest with you, this is the strongest storm right now.
Right.
There's a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect until 9:30 a.m. that does have a tornado possible tag that does include Cassville. So, folks, if you live in Cassville, I think the area of rotation will be north of Cassville. Really, the areas that I'm watching very closely are Purdy and Monette. Those are going to be the two areas that have probably the greatest chance of seeing significant severe weather potential.
And that rotation will be moving in here pretty soon, so
Yeah.
they might talk about extending the warning, which I'm checking on right now on the slide.
Yeah, he's looking on Slack right now. So, yep, there was a tornado possible on that storm in Joplin. There was a tornado warning in Neosho. Again, I know we're talking about what's going on in Northwest Arkansas, and we are going to keep talking about it, but I just want to let folks know in Southwest Missouri, we're not abandoning you either. I want to let you know that there is a pretty significant storm moving through Northwest Berry County right now that does have some rotation and that does have a tornado possible tag. Okay, going to go back down to the storm along I-49 here. Looks like a little bit of range folding. That's okay. Again, very strong winds moving right through Benton County right now. So I am switching to the Fort Smith radar, Peyton. because it's starting to get
Yeah.
obstructed by some of the stratiform rain. But we're gonna move up. We're gonna move the custom spotters off for now. So here's a look at the storm as it moves off to the east. It is perpendicular to the line, so keep that in mind. But I would say, Peyton, nothing there is too concerning for tornado
No.
potential.
Nothing there is too concerning that I see. Seems like it's gusting out a
Yeah.
little bit.
I would say it's gusting out as well.
Outflow dominant. We're a little bit farther north, might be a little bit more balanced.
It is a little bit, well, that's why you got the tornado warning.
Exactly.
Man, that's a pretty nasty storm. You know what? I'm gonna go back here to Weather One, and
Storm's already over Garfield.
Yeah.
Or Posey Mountain camera.
it's over the Posey Mountain. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you for the heads up
Took
there.
our eye off of it. For
Okay.
like 2 minutes.
Here's
Right there.
yeah, it just moved right through. This is how fast the storms are moving, folks. It's moving at 60 miles per hour. So this is the Posey Mountain camera, and as you can see, we've got very strong winds moving through. Severe thunderstorm warning on that as well over Garfield. So, man, that storm is still pretty impressive, honestly, for a storm that's struggling on radar. Man, it still looks pretty gnarly visually. That's
Yeah.
for sure. So I know a lot of folks are asking about Washington County. Right now, we've got some thunderstorms that are moving through. They're non-severe storms, but these could ramp up at any time. So we'll keep an eye on that. Hey, I know we want to look at what's going on tonight, Brendan. I know we want to look at parameters and stuff like that, but frankly, we don't have the time for that right now because we have storms that are moving through. I would love to break those down, but because we have to keep such a close eye on these storms,
To watch here.
tornado warning.
Yeah.
But it's to the north. I knew they were going to issue. So it's not in our
Mhm.
county. Okay. I just wanted to point this out. This is not in our weather coverage area, but we kind of had a feeling this was going to happen. There is a tornado warning that's now been issued on that storm in southwest Missouri. This does include northeastern Newton County and southern Lawrence County. This includes Mount Vernon, Aurora, just north of Manette, Pierce City, Stott City, Holberg. This is not in our weather coverage area, so we will not be going on air for this. But, folks, I just wanted to let you know that there is a tornado warning just north of Berry County. If you have friends or family who live in that area, let them know that they need to be taking their tornado precautions. Again, this is not in our coverage area, but it's close enough where I feel like I need to say that because I know we might have some folks that have friends and family who live in these areas. So if they do live in Newton County and Lawrence County in southwest Missouri, they need to be taking their tornado precautions. So I just wanted to give a heads up on that front. But going back to our area, we still have a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for Benton County. That goes for another 8 minutes. It's moving off to the east at 50 miles per hour now. So it has slowed down a little bit. So that's a good sign there, maybe. Peyton, I'm going to go back here to Weather One, and I'm going to do a storm track on this because we haven't done a storm track in a while.
That's a good point.
So I'm going to take this warning off, and we're going to move the storm off to the east at 50 miles per hour. So if you live in not 560 miles per hour, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here, and we're going to go to the most dangerous part of the storm. Jog that off to the east. It's pretty much moving due east at this point. So we're going to go back to Weather One here and show you that storm track. So this storm has now moved east to Pea Ridge. It's right on top of Garfield. This storm will keep moving east at 50 miles per hour. It should be arriving in Gateway right now. In fact, we can see that on radar. Beaver at 9:05 a.m., Eureka Springs in Carroll County at 9:10. If you're in Eureka Springs, there is not a severe thunderstorm warning currently in effect, but that could change. We'll watch that very closely. Berryville at 9:23 a.m., Oak Grove at 9:28, Green Forest at 9:32, and Ridgeway at 9:49 a.m. Getting reports of sirens going off in Rogers.
Well,
Brian,
they might choose to do that.
they might choose to do that because there might be a severe thunderstorm, but I will say there's not any tornado development that I see right now. man, another tornado warning on that storm in Southwest Missouri. They got 2 tornado warnings. That is line normal, and that's why it's doing that. But here, they're weakening quite a bit. Yeah, a lot of folks saying that they don't hear tornado sirens. So, Brian, I don't know where you are, but I can assure you there is not a tornado in Rogers or a tornado that is imminent. So, thanks everybody for the report. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is why we're on right now, Torcon. Absolutely, we're gonna keep covering those storms in Southwest Missouri as long as they're there, because I know we got folks that watch and listen, and sometimes we might be their only warning, especially during the morning hours. So,
McDonald County severe storm has expired.
Yep.
It's out of there.
yep.
It's moved on.
So that's good. So if you live in McDonald County, the severe thunderstorm warning has expired. But here's what I'm talking about. Here's the 2 tornado warnings that are currently north of our coverage area. But I still want to talk about them because they're close enough to where people may be watching or listening or have family that live
Yeah.
there. If you have family that lives in Mount Vernon or Aurora, or especially near, I think that's Freistadt. Yeah, I think you're right. They need to be taking their tornado precautions. And if they live in Round Grove, if they live in Miller, zoom in a little bit more. Call, Phelps, Rescue, Grace Point, they need to be taking their tornado precautions in Southwest Missouri. That is a very concerning storm. I would not be surprised if that started dropping tornadoes in just a few moments. Okay. Yep. So Greg Turner letting us know that he has his spotter up. So let's see if he's anywhere near the storms right now. So I'm gonna look at where he is on the spotter now. He's way behind the storms right now.
Because they're moving
so fast right now.
And with the roads, you just cannot catch up. You can't get out in front of it at all.
You can't. So here's a look at Greg. That's not Greg Turner's stream. This, if it will load, is Greg Turner's stream. My goodness, that took forever. So Greg Turner right now is currently in Bentonville, but the storm has pretty much passed Bentonville. So if you live in Bentonville and Rogers and Cave Springs, Lowell, Pea Ridge even, it's done. Severe weather threat's over for you, at least with this storm. So it looks like things are winding down a little bit in Benton County. I wonder, Peyton, if they're going to extend the severe thunderstorm warning. Maybe. They might do it as a precaution, but I'll be honest with you, that is starting to weaken quite a bit, which is great. Is there another series of storms coming into Bentonville, or will that go just east? So here's the deal. So we're going to have more storms throughout the day today. And throughout the week. But the immediate severe weather threat is over for Bentonville. So, you're not going to have any severe weather within the next 3 hours.
Right.
You're clear for the next 3 hours or so, Krista. So, if you want to go back to sleep, or if you want to, get out and drive and get to where you want to go and you feel more comfortable, now's the time to do it. There will be more storms, probably right around 1, 2 p.m. Another bigger round during this evening into the overnight hours tonight. So, there's multiple rounds of showers or storms expected over the next few days. Okay. A lot of folks are wondering about this Washington County storm. Don't see anything there that's too concerning. So if I go to Mega Doppler here, here's a look at the storm that's moving near Watts. I know some folks are wondering about Washington County.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like a garden variety storm right now. So Washington County, probably going to get loud. In fact, let's look at our Mount Sequoia camera.
Big old raindrops, I imagine.
Big old red ones. Let's look at the Mount Sequoia camera. So yeah, windy, some gusty winds moving into Fayetteville right now, and quite a bit of heavy rainfall.
I think they changed it into a special weather statement.
They changed it. So no more severe thunderstorm warnings in Northwest Arkansas at this time.
I think it's that one.
Yeah, I think you're right as well. So no more severe thunderstorm warnings. Once this one expires in Benton County, there will be no more severe thunderstorm warnings currently in effect. But you are going to get some winds. You are going to get some rain and stuff like that in Springdale and in Fayetteville. But right now, there is no concerning severe thunderstorms at this time.
No. They did issue a severe thunderstorm watch for Boone County and eastward.
How?
Boone, Newton, and then
When does that expire?
Probably that's probably just for now.
Yeah. But here's a look at mega Doppler. So there's
Goes
the
until 3.
there's a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Benton County. That expires at 9 a.m. So that is going to expire within the next 1 minute. And I think this will be continued as a special weather statement. But if you live in Bush, if you live in Beaver, Eureka Springs, you might get some gusty winds pretty soon.
Oh yeah.
But that storm has definitely fallen apart a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot more impressive a few moments ago. So just keep an eye on that there in northeastern Benton County. For our southwest Missouri friends in Berrien County, we still have that severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag, despite what this says. But I will say that the area of rotation is just north of Berrien County.
Yeah.
So the other areas along the line near Cassville and Purdy are not really rotating. You might run into some strong winds in southwest Missouri, but I will say the line normal part of the storm is just off to the north of the area.
Thankfully.
Man, my goodness, those storms are taking off. I would not be surprised if these drop tornadoes.
Yeah, I would not be surprised either.
Or if they already are dropping tornadoes.
If you want, we can switch to the Springfield radar because the imminent severe weather threat is over for
Benton
Northwest
County.
Arkansas.
Yeah. So we're not going to leave Benton County. We're not dropping off of Benton County, but we do want to look at these storms in southwest Missouri. Wow. That's strong rotation right there, Peyton.
Yeah.
Let's look at the PTDS product. There might be a tornado.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, that's a tornado.
That's a tornado.
Hey guys, so here's the deal. This is not in our weather coverage area. This is just north of our weather coverage area. But in case nobody's on this somehow in southwest Missouri, I'm sure there's a TV station on. But in case there isn't, if you are watching or if you have friends or family that live near Opal, Missouri, just to the northwest of Aurora, they need to be in their tornado safe place right now. There is a tornado on the ground in Missouri. And that is confirmed by radar. I am pretty confident that's a tornado on the ground.
Yeah.
So that's moving towards State Highway 39 right now near Opal in northwest of Aurora. Again, this is not in our weather coverage area, but I'm telling you right now, there is likely a tornado on the ground near Opal, and I'll bet you that PTDS gets larger. Because that was like maybe the first scan of debris getting lofted. Let me see if that lines up. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Normalized rotation's not as impressive, but that doesn't matter sometimes. That's a very strong area of rotation. Would not be surprised if that was a tornado. Regardless, they need to be in their tornado safe place, and I do believe there is a tornado on the ground southwest of Opal and near the Orange area. So Opal, Orange, McKinley, that storm is tracking off to the east-northeast right now. They need to be in their tornado safe place right now. So yeah, a lot of folks talking about rain in Fayetteville. Right now, the storms are below severe limits. Holy cow. Okay, just got this report in from our producer. 4,000 plus without power in McDonald County alone in Missouri.
Here, I'll pull that up. and
Yeah.
you can pull the weather too in a
So
second.
Peyton's pulling that up, but 4,000 plus are without power in McDonald County.
Oh, McDonald County.
Yeah, in Missouri.
Wow.
Yeah, that's quite a few.
That's almost the entirety of McDonald County.
Yeah, that's a lot. Here, let me just show you what Peyton's looking at.
53% of the county.
Yeah, let me pull that up on 101. That's what Peyton's looking at. So 53% of McDonald County has their power out, and it might be more too, because sometimes this is delayed.
Yeah, this is pretty delayed for
Yeah.
the most part.
So if you're in McDonald County, man, I wouldn't doubt if there was a strong RFD surge.
Yeah.
Because of that storm ramping up.
Mhm.
That more than likely what happened. But yeah, I mean, if there was a tornado on the ground in southwest Missouri, it was a quick one. But that kind of makes me think it was a tornado even more. See that?
Probably a brief.
Brief tornado, I
Tornado.
think, near Opal. So again, I know that's not in our coverage area. I know some folks might be wondering why we're talking about that, but honestly, I feel the need to cover that because I see a concerning amount of comments that are
Yeah.
saying they're not getting coverage of that.
Right.
So I just want to make sure people understand that there might have been a tornado there north of Verona and Aurora, and that they need to be taking their tornado precautions right now. Another severe storm, maybe not as significant right now near Miller, but man, that is some very strong winds moving towards the Springfield area. So that's the storm that's out of our DMA.
Yeah, you can go ahead and show them.
Yeah. Here's a look again at Mega Doppler, and here's a look at the severe thunderstorm warning again. Is Verora okay now? We're calling friends up there. Yes. I would say the area of rotation just passed over Verona at this point. So they're okay now. Probably going to get some very heavy rain and strong winds, though, and freaking lightning. That is for sure. But for our DMA area, there is a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect. Oh, man. That's not a report I wanted to see. Roby just said, heard from a neighbor, they got hit.
Oh, man.
I don't know if they've got a home.
And this is exactly why we wanted to touch on it because, we have people that might have friends or family.
Yeah, phones drop
out
mid-call. You know why those phones drop? Because the cell tower probably got hit. And so now they probably don't have that power. Yeah, Carrie, this is in Southwest Missouri. This is in, I believe that's Lawrence or Newton County. But this is near the Aurora area. And if we go back here, I want to just show you what I was talking
Lawrence
about.
County,
Yeah, Lawrence County. So there was a tornado that was on the ground just a few moments ago, likely a brief one, but there was a tornado on the ground that's a residential area for sure.
Yeah.
That was northwest of Verona, southwest of Opal. It was
southeast of Freistadt.
Yep. Brief tornado, but it was on the ground, and unfortunately it looks like it caused damage. So yeah. Hopefully everybody's okay there. Hopefully everybody took those storms seriously. But I'm going to go back down here on this line real quick just to make sure.
Address of where the tornado passed down.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and share that.
Down.
Yeah.
So this is from 911 Lawrence County Emergency Services, 8066 Lawrence 2205.
That's exactly where we just were. That's where that correlation coefficient drop was.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully everybody's okay. And hopefully there was some coverage on TV of that up there in Springfield. I'm sure there was. But again, I know some folks maybe don't have access to TV or maybe they can't get a live stream. So that's why we just wanted to alert folks of that real quick. All right. So severe thunderstorm warning. The only severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect right now is in Berry County in our weather coverage area. Otherwise, there is no more severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect for Northwest Arkansas, and these storms are well below severe limits.
Yeah,
well below severe limits. There is a report of damage in Rogers, Peyton, 2 miles north of Rogers. Big maple tree down via social media.
Wow.
So that is very close to where the tornado hit last year, south of Little Flock. That's very close to where it hit.
See if I can find that.
Yeah, Peyton's on the case right now. He's trying to find that. I need to tell Dan about this, Peyton. There is no coverage for Goodman, Neosho areas other than KNWA.
Really?
Neosho is not in our coverage area.
Mm-mm.
We might need to have a discussion about that. Thanks for letting me know, Roby. And that's why we were covering it, just in case. I mean, it was close enough to our area that we needed to cover it regardless on this live stream. But there's about to be a bunch of reports of damage, Peyton, in north of Monette. Glad we were on that. Hopefully folks took that warning very seriously. Yeah, it looks like Dan's now on the live stream, so he's just down watching.
So big maple tree down in Little Flock near Hudson Road.
Yeah. Okay, so that was from Karen Schwartz. So yeah, that was on social media. So Karen actually sent that to Dan's Twitter account there. So you go ahead and retweet that.
Yeah.
That way I can find that too. So again, there was some damage in the northern part of Rogers here. big maple tree down, and that was reported on social media right under Dan Scoff's page.
Mhm.
So here's the deal, folks. We're gonna stay on as long as that severe thunderstorm warning is in effect. But Peyton, to be honest with you, I think these storms are starting to wind down for our coverage area.
Yeah.
Uh,
But apparently
You
they
know
can
what?
reach us up there.
you know what? I think we need to cover these.
Yeah.
I get there's people that are saying they're not even watching. That there's not even a stream or wall-to-wall coverage going on in Springfield.
Man.
So let's cover them. Let's cover them for folks that are watching because I don't see anything in Northwest Arkansas. Well, that's something to watch.
Yeah, it is for sure.
Okay, well, we'll cover them all. How about that? So for the Northwest Arkansas area, I would say these storms are falling apart. They're below severe limits. There's not a whole lot of lightning on them.
I know we have people that watch near Emerald Beach.
Yeah, but near Emerald Beach in Berry County, there is a tornado warning not tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag attached to it right now. Folks, if you live in Rogers, Lowell, Springdale, all of Northwest Arkansas, there is no more severe weather threat for the immediate future. For the next 3 hours, there will be no severe weather threat. So Rogers, Lowell, Springdale, Benton County, you're good. You're good to go. We're covering a storm right now in southwest Missouri that's in Berry County. And Peyton, keep an eye on that Slack information too. That'll be very useful. So there is an area of rotation in our weather coverage area right now that we're watching. It's broad. It's near Shell Knob. Yeah, that lines up. Look at this. I'm going up in tilts. That's definitely rotating. So we need to watch that a little bit closely. That will be getting out of our coverage area very soon, too. But if you live in Shell Knob, Emerald Beach, you're going to be good. I think this area of rotation will pass north of Emerald Beach, but strong winds, certainly a possibility in Emerald Beach. Shell Knob, based on the current track of that rotation, you need to be keeping an eye on that. Let's see here. Hill City. You need to be watching this very closely here. This is along State Highway 76. So if you live along State Highway 76 in Berry County, there is at least very strong winds, maybe an RFD surge.
Yeah, at the very least.
At the very least going on there near Shell Knob. If we get one more scan on that, I bet you they do something with that. Yeah.
It's not quite co-located with the little nub.
Yeah, but
Well, now it might
now
be.
it is.
Actually.
Yeah, I think that was what. Ooh.
Yeah.
I think that might be getting tornado warned pretty soon. To be honest with you, now this is
you're right.
This is getting out of our weather coverage area. But apparently, yeah. So it's right here. It's
it would be in our coverage area for a brief moment.
For a brief moment. So we're going to cover this. We're on this. But if you live in Hill City and along State Highway 76, I would go ahead and take tornado precautions right now. This is ramping up pretty quickly. I always say with these QLCS setups that you need to take those tornado precautions. Wow, there you go. Severe thunderstorm warning with a considerable tag attached to it just east of Berry County. I bet that's tornado possible.
So the reports of the tornado were from around Highway P. You might know where that's at.
Yeah.
Or 2175 and 2180 in Lawrence.
Yeah.
Lawrence County.
Okay, so that lines up with radar.
Yeah.
That lines up perfectly with radar.
Dude,
I think this is going to go tornado warning.
I'd want to say something, but I know they're kind of busy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, folks, if you live along State Highway 76, so we might have some folks watching in Cape Fear. Go ahead and take those tornado precautions.
Yeah.
Treat this like a tornado, because at the very least, this is producing intense winds. There's probably damage that is occurring near Hill City right now. I would bet your bottom dollar on it.
We got to watch where this goes too. This could turn a little bit towards the southeast. I think we have people who have friends that have come to before in Kimberling City as well.
Yeah.
So to watch how this moves.
Yeah. That is interesting right there. Okay, so Roby says, okay, one neighbor got through to me. They got minimal damage and will check my house and animals for me. Okay, that's good to hear, Roby. Thanks for that report. Yeah, we were just talking about that touchdown, Dan. We were actually on that. I never put the observe tag around it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow.
I think that
vehicle
was
wrapped up in power lines in Aurora.
That's what happens with tornadoes.
Yep.
That's not straight line winds. That was definitely a tornado. Here's what we're talking about. We're going to go back a few scans here. I just want to go back to this. I mean, look at that, dude. That is really strong rotation. But you know what I use? I use the tornado detector product, the tornado detection product. And I saw this right here, and I'm like, does that line up with correlation coefficient? Yep. Does it line up to the rotation? Yep. Does it line up with base reflectivity? Yep. Yeah, it lines up. There was definitely a tornado on the ground northwest of Verona and northwest of Aurora. And it lines up with the damage reports as well. There it is right there.
Yeah.
67 mile per hour gust reported northwest of Verona. So this was an old radar scan, but this is what we're talking about. There was a tornado on the ground.
Yeah.
And I think that was a tornado for sure. Now, for our weather coverage area, we're still watching this area along State Highway 76.
That could be a possibly weak spin up.
Yep, we're about to get
Might
a new
not be as
scan.
strong as what happened up north, but
Yep. We're about to get a new velocity scan here in any second.
Yep. Tornado warning continues for Lawrence and Dade County
In Dade County.
Green. It's up to the north.
It's up to that's that storm up there. Oh my goodness. This person said, I thought we were taking a direct hit for a second. I looked out my window and saw debris flying. Where are you located? Newtonia? Newtonia.
Maybe Newton. And
Yeah.
IA, I don't know.
Yeah. Honestly, we're not as familiar with those areas because they're north of our coverage area, but thanks for that
No,
report.
Newtonia is real.
Yeah, Newtonia.
So it's just east of Neosho.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, look at that. There was a damage report there in Neosho. 60 mile per hour wind, heavy rain, strong wind estimated.
Yeah, so Newtonia is like right in here.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is, right there. There's Newtonia. Let's go back some scans. Let's see if I mean, yeah. Yeah, I could see why you probably had debris flying. Dude, there had to have been something going on here too. That's just too strong for it not to. Crazy how things can change with these storms. I mean, they weren't doing a whole lot. They were kind of weakening, and then that northern storm just took off because it was line normal. And so now, huge tornado warning.
Cold pool dominant for a second.
Me too. Huge tornado warning for Springfield, man. I wonder if Springfield is getting directly hit. They are. Wow.
They're about to.
They're about to. That is a nasty storm, Peyton.
Yeah.
That is a storm that means business. Now, we're still keeping an eye on this storm in eastern Berry County. I would say the rotation maybe has gotten a little bit weaker, but
Good.
I think there was definitely probably some damage that happened there. So,
Yeah, briefly.
briefly, RFD surge or something like
Or
that.
right along the highway.
Yeah, just making sure on correlation coefficient. Never hurts to look. Don't see anything there. Yeah, don't see anything there that was a cause for concern.
Here, show this.
Okay, yeah. So Dan Scoff, damage and gravet by the old dollar store from the storm this morning. Photos from Gracious Barber.
Well, actually, let's see what I can do.
Okay, thank you for that, Savannah.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, Peyton, I'll let you pull that up. I'm gonna go back to main Doppler here.
yeah.
So while Peyton's doing that, we got some more power outage reports. Berry County 600 without power. Newton County in Missouri 2,000 plus without power. And Newton
Really?
County in Missouri.
Newton County. We already talked about McDonald County. It's 4,000.
Yeah. Wow. That is that's unbelievable.
All right.
Okay, so Peyton's still pulling that up right now.
Loading.
So when can we expect more in Rogers and Bentonville? You know what? Let's go ahead and talk about that just real quick because there is more expected. 4,800 without power in Pineville, by the way, or without power in McDonald County.
Things are going slow.
Yeah, it's a slow day for the computers.
All right. I do have it up.
Okay, thank you, sir. So there's the damage right here. Peyton's got it pulled up right now. So this is from Gracious Barber. Dan Scoff, of course, posting about this on Twitter. This is near the old dollar store. This might be that big maple tree that they were talking about on the spotter reports. Wow, that tree is snapped.
Mm-hmm.
So this is this is what we talk about too with straight
look at it.
lines. Wow,
Tree limit up in the power line.
up in the power line. You know, when we go back to radar, you know, with that storm, of course we changed radar, so we can't look at that data right
Right.
now. But we'll look back on it. But there was definitely maybe an RFP surge over
Mhm.
Gravit. Again, I tell you, I got moving when there was a warning for Gravit. Wow, scary. I'm in a mobile home and I have nowhere else to go. Oh man. Well, glad to hear that you're okay.
Yeah.
With that storm. But that is very scary. That is very, very scary. Roby says power lines and trees down in Neosho. It moved towards Newtonia and Purdy. So the one in Springfield is probably the same one.
Mhm.
All right. This storm is out of our weather coverage area.
Yeah.
So we'll keep a close eye on it, man. Hopefully the stations are on now.
Right.
In
It's hard to
Springfield.
tell. That's only 320 feet above the ground.
Yeah, but my goodness, that's beast
Mhm.
mode. At the very least, that's producing some very strong winds. That's going to be moving
Yeah.
through. Hail potential there.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly quarter sized, but maybe some bigger hail too. Maybe a $50. Yeah, definitely got some bigger hail there. That's a beastly storm that's moving through Springfield right now.
Let me go back to the slide.
Yes,
See what I
sir.
can
Yes,
find
sir.
in there.
So the storms that are moving through
Mhm.
northwest Arkansas, folks, just as a heads up, right now are below severe limits. I think that will continue for the immediate future,
Yeah.
based on the atmosphere that's in place right now. But there is the potential for more severe thunderstorms as we go throughout the rest of the day today. And you know what I'm going to do, Peyton? I'm going to go ahead and go back to my workspace just because I had my graphics ready and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
there.
For sure.
So I'm going to go back to that. Peyton's still looking at some stuff on NWS chat, just letting us know if there's any more damage reports. It looks like the majority of the damage in our coverage area was around Gravit, based
There-
on what I'm seeing.
There is more damage coming out of Neosho, but
Yeah, that's
I don't think we can just show it because we saw what happened earlier in the year.
what happened earlier in the year.
Somebody from higher up,
Ah,
like a big network that won't be named, just came into a Slack and started grabbing photos.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, okay.
Gotta throw that out.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about though now. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and go through the severe weather risk for the rest of the day today. But
Mhm.
first, Savannah has another report. Traffic lights out. 13th Street to Walnut Street, 46th Street and Walnut.
You know, just take our Rogers camera and thankfully that has power. We'll point it east. So I'm assuming it's the east side of Rogers.
Yep. That would be east side. That's where the storm's really ramped up.
Yeah.
Power is out in Grove. Yep. A lot of reports of power outages.
Can't really tell a whole lot from looking at the camera, but
Let me switch to that.
man, are those clouds hauling butt.
Cooking.
Yeah.
Cooking. My goodness. No kidding. Look at that. Low level jet much?
Yeah. Storm Chaser reported a tornado near Halltown up there. Not exactly sure where that is.
Is that a TVS?
Sure is.
Does that line up? No.
It's hard.
It's
It will
hard.
be hard to tell because we're only 200 feet.
But it wouldn't be back here.
No. It wouldn't be
Yeah.
back there.
But I will say that this leading part of the storm right here,
Yeah.
dude, it's going right over the radar.
Seen that happen before.
So he said he was what, near Halto?
Halltown, whatever that is.
Okay, it's right here. The tornado's
There's an
gotta be
N
right
behind
here.
there.
Or it could be right here. Dude, it's so hard on the radar. I think it's right here.
Yeah, what if you go up in tilts? Let's get higher.
Oh yeah,
There we
there
go.
it is. I knew it was right there. Yeah. Yep. That's a tornado. Right there. There's a TVS. That lines up more. I wonder if PTDS goes up in tilts. Guess debris has to get lofted pretty high for that to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is definitely definitely lines up. Oh, got a report of damage there. Quarter-size hail and debris, highway north Lawrence. We're looking at some stuff behind the scenes right now, guys. By the way, SWEPCO is reporting 1,500 plus without power in Rogers right now.
Man.
So a lot of power outages to report in Northwest Arkansas. Yes, Charles, that is what we just reported. That was
Yeah.
a spotter report.
Right.
So a storm spotter who was on the storm reported a tornado, and I believe it. 100%. Because if we go here back to Mega Doppler, we're really close to the radar, so we have to go up in tilts to kind of see it. But look at that rotation that's northeast of there. Whoa. There we go.
That's an interesting radar artifact.
Yeah. But you can see where that rotation is right
Mhm.
there. Wow. Very strong.
Yeah.
A very strong rotation. That's tight.
Will
So I think-
normalized rotation show up? No, it's like a mess.
Just a streak. Yeah, if you got friends and family who live in Springfield, they need to be taking their tornado precautions. The greater Springfield area.
Yeah.
I think there probably is a tornado on the ground right now. And I believe that spotter report too. Is the
Wow.
Rogers Weatherbug Network camera connected to the Rogers Convention Center?
No, it's
No.
on our bureau. We have an office up there that shows
Yeah.
right next to it.
Uh,
Report of an ambulance sitting in a power line in Aurora.
that got lofted.
No, I think the power line is down.
Oh, it's down on it. I thought it said.
Yeah, like
I thought
an
it was like
ambulance picked
ambulance
up.
like got picked up and lifted into the power line.
it's a
That would be a
light ambulance.
strong tornado.
Yeah, dude, look at the purple.
It's because it's so close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's moving all over the place now because it's so close to the radar. Stoplights out from 13th to 46th. Yep, we just mentioned that too, near Walnut Street. So in Rogers. So look at that. There's 3 of them.
Dude,
So by the way, folks, these are not true TBSs.
no.
The reason why it's showing this is because it's so close to the radar. The radar site's right here. So if we go up in tilts, you can see that the rotation is
Wonky.
hard to see. My goodness, it gets even worse.
I think because it's right on top of.
It's right on top of it, so I can't scan anything. It's just getting errors. So, okay. So for Northwest Arkansas, again, let's go back down here because I know Springfield's not in our coverage area, but we still want to keep an eye on it. None of these storms are severe.
Mm-mm.
You're just seeing heavy rain. You're just seeing frequent lightning potentially. Maybe some gusty winds and small hail, but you don't have to really worry about anything right now. In fact, I would say these storms are likely to stay below severe limits in these locations.
Mm.
Boone County, very similar story. I think these storms will stay below severe limits this morning. Yeah, it's gonna get dark. As these storms move in. I know some folks are worried in Berryville, but Berryville, you might be even south of the heavy rain. Actually, looks like that might be lifting northeast. So you're going to see a storm there in Berryville. And Peyton's keeping an eye on that Gaither Mountain camera.
Not a whole lot to see, but
Yeah, it doesn't look too out of place. Yeah, it doesn't look too out of place on radar either. Strong winds, though.
mhm.
Maybe up to 50 miles per hour, I would say, along that line.
Yeah.
But in terms of tornado potential, I think that's not going to be the case at all.
I don't even think there's a special weather statement. I think that might have been dropped.
It might have been dropped. What about this storm in Delaware County? Is that a special weather statement? Or Adair County, sorry.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
Mm.
Might switch back to Fort Smith here. So I'm going to switch back to the Fort Smith radar, folks, because that storm that's in Springfield, it's like, well, it's right on top of the radar at this point. So it's like, it's going to be more visuals
Right.
in those areas. We can't really track it as well on radar anymore. And of course, we don't have cameras up there. Oh, come on. Range folding.
Oh boy.
What's up with that trash scan? Everything kind of being wonky today. No, we're not losing sound, Tasha. We're just kind of going back and forth between storms right now. You know what we need to do here? Let's go through what we've got going on the rest of the day, and then maybe we can start wrapping it up a little bit here, Peyton. I think. So we've got a severe thunderstorm watch that remains in effect until 10 a.m. for Benton and Washington County, and portions of Carroll County and Newton County.
You want me to do the meeting? Basically tell them
Oh
what the
yes,
damage is?
yes.
Alright.
Excuse me, Carroll and Madison County. There is another tornado watch that's in effect for Boone and Newton County right now. That goes until 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, I do think a lot of these storms that are moving through will stay below severe limits, at least in the near term. But later today, we could see more severe weather potential. This is a look at the latest day one convective outlook that will load up here in just a few moments. You can see that pretty much the entire area is under a level 2 out of 5, slight risk for severe weather. This is valid until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Heavy rain, large hail, damage, and winds, and that low-end tornado threat does exist with the strongest storms. As you can see, isolated hailstones up to 2 inches in diameter is certainly a possibility. There will be additional storms moving through later on this afternoon. Damaging wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour also possible with that low-end tornado threat for the entire area. In terms of timing, this is a look at the latest future track. You can see, again, multiple clusters of storms pushing through. So those storms are developing right now in Washington County and moving off to the north and east very quickly. So we'll need to watch these clusters very closely for more of that hail risk, maybe that very low tornado threat, along with damaging wind gusts. Those storms will be moving north and east. We might get little lulls in the activity before more showers and storms push to the area around 6, 7, 8 p.m. And look at this. This is when the flooding risk really begins to get maximized at midnight. So you could see just a ton of rain moving through the area overnight tonight and early tomorrow morning. This is why we are so concerned about the flooding potential, especially with more thunderstorm risk as we move throughout Wednesday afternoon. We'll get to that in just a few moments. Here it is right here, level 2 out of 5. Slight risk of severe weather in place for pretty much the entire area once again for Wednesday afternoon into early Thursday morning. And very similar to today, very heavy rainfall, damaging winds, and that low-end tornado threat will exist. The hail threat not nearly as high, but notice how the tornado potential is a little bit increased in portions of LaFleur and Scott County. So we'll watch that very, very closely. But here's a look at the timing for those storms as we move throughout Wednesday. Again, right around 2, 3 p.m., more showers and storms pushing through. Again, look how gnarly those storms are along and south of Interstate 40. These will be the ones to watch very closely as they move along the I-40 corridor. Those storms will move out probably right around 6 to 7 p.m., but I think there will be another round that will try to push through early Thursday morning as well. Just unbelievable how much rain that we're going to be dealing with. Flood watch in effect until tomorrow at Thursday at 7 a.m. Rainfall totals between 2 to 5 inches likely, with locally higher amounts possible. We do have a level 3 out of 4 moderate risk of excessive rainfall as we move throughout Wednesday. Significant flash flooding, certainly a possibility over the area. Here's a look at one model's depiction on how much rain we could see. About 2 to 4 inches of rain with locally higher amounts possible here and there. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a report of upwards of 6, 7 inches of rain, especially wherever those thunderstorms train over the same areas. So make sure you got our Weather Authority app, folks. You can find that on the Google Play and Apple App Store. You can also scan the QR code on your screen right now. If we look at the extended forecast, 70 to 80% chance of showers and storms. Again, the reason why it's not really 100% is because there will be these areas here and there where storms may be a little bit less prevalent. Temperatures will be in the middle to upper 70s as we move throughout the rest of this week. Overnight lows will be in the 50s and 60s. Might have a slight chance of a storm or two Friday through Sunday, but overall, I think things will really begin to dry out as we move throughout the weekend. River Valley high temperatures in the lower to middle 80s today through Saturday, really, as we move throughout next week as well. 70 to 80% chance of showers and storms over the next 24 to 48 hours. 40% chance of storms on Thursday morning, with rain chances beginning to taper off as we move throughout the weekend. So Hannah, we just went through that severe weather risk. Again, here's a look at it for today. It's a level 2 out of 5 slight risk, multiple clusters of storms pushing through the area, large hail damaging winds, low end tornado threat, all possible with the storms, along with very heavy rainfall. Let's look at the SIG-TOR parameters. I know some folks are asking about that for tonight. Let's just go ahead and look at it real quick. So here's the SIG-TOR for today. So as you can see, a little bit's in place over Northwest Arkansas right now. Doesn't really increase overnight tonight. Now, it tries to increase over LaFleur and Scott County, which is why you see maybe a bit of a higher risk for tornadoes tomorrow in those areas during the afternoon. But otherwise, the significant tornado parameters are not really there. A lot of these storms, like what we just saw, will have to be fueled by nudgers and cell interactions that are favorable, enhancement of the low level wind shear. Otherwise, these storms are not going to be able to tap into the environment because of the lack of instability that I think we'll see. And let's look at that right now here on the extended HRRR. So there's the instability moving out. Tries to return here and there. Definitely tries to surge back to the north on Wednesday. But how far does that make it if there's a bunch of storms everywhere? I don't know. That remains to be seen. But the instability is going to be a bit lacking over the next few days here in Northwest Arkansas. And maybe not as much in the river valley.
Tapping into 5,000.
Well, that's how much there was supposed to be down in southwest Oklahoma, northern Texas, and I chased out there all day yesterday and didn't see nothing. Nada. Saw a little bit of structure, and that was about it. And I think, Peyton, based on what we're seeing here, these storms are they're kind of struggling a little bit. In Northwest Arkansas, which is good. We might be lacking, instability or low level wind shear.
Gotcha.
Over our area at least. I mean, it's beast mode activated in Springfield. They just extended the tornado warning.
Oh, so went through Springfield. Or he's going
82 mile per hour gust reported.
Whoa, pretty strong.
That's a lot of damage.
That can cause more damage than tornadoes sometimes.
Dude. Wow. Very dynamic system.
Yeah.
Very powerful system. Let's look at the normalized rotation. You're not going to see much because you're so close to the radar.
Could be a late night tonight.
Yep.
For us, potentially.
Yep. We'll have to watch it. But I just showed the SIG-TOR parameters, and they're lacking. And they're lacking because the instability gets washed out because there's so many rounds of showers and storms.
Yeah. I mentioned that in the weather blog.
Yeah.
That,
look at all that convection.
There's a lot of rain and clouds that hang around.
Yeah.
Be weak sauce.
Anvil seeding. And no, not talking about
cloud seeding.
Not talking about cloud seeding, anvil seeding. I guess some folks might be confused by that, but anvil seeding is when you have anvils of either current storms or decaying storms that can choke off other storms that may be in a more favorable environment, typically to the south and east. Well, what do you think, Peyton? You think we can
pretty much
maybe drop off? If there's another, this storm right here is pretty strong near Berryville.
Yeah. I'm tempted to say to use a Springfield radar, however, it will be heavily contaminated scans.
Yeah, especially with all this junk up here. Yeah, look at all that lightning on the Springfield storm. Just going berserk.
Good night. Let's see if we have any Springfield cameras.
Man, there's some stations that are not even doing live coverage on their Facebook of the storm in Oklahoma. I mean, not Oklahoma, in Missouri.
No way.
That's what I'm getting reports of. You know what? I mean, I guess we should just stay on just for that sake.
Dude, that's insane.
Hey, folks, if you got friends and family who live in Springfield or around there who can't get coverage, tell them to join us. Are you kidding me? A 90-mile-per-hour gust?
Holy cow!
Oh, right on top of the radar, dude.
Yeah, I just got that.
That's
actually.
that. Oh my goodness.
That's at the airport.
Yeah. Wow, that's beast mode.
That is so strong, dude.
That is so strong.
You know, that'd be
90
up there with like an EF1.
I know, and probably a wider area.
I know, yeah.
90, 82, 64. Got this one down here with
Tree.
the debris. Well, and this is a tornado down here. I mean,
Think so.
No doubt about it.
Man, everything is running slow. I can't get anything to load any website.
I'm telling you, it's like today it's like the computers just decided to junk out. That is a crazy radar scan. Especially this one right here where it gets right on top of the radar. Look at that.
Yeah, that's an artifact. I would like to think.
Yep.
Nothing is loading, man. Oh, there we go.
Woo! Man, that wind that is moving towards Stafford, Northview, Fair Grove.
Dude.
Holy cow, that is strong.
Hold on to your hats.
Yeah.
Hold on to everything.
Hold on to everything. My goodness. Oh, holy cow, that makes sense. Okay, Margie says, daughter says that the station is down right now.
Whoa. So typically, I know when the service office, National Weather Service office, you know, they need help, they'll get another station to jump in.
Yeah, that's crazy though. Oh my goodness, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, KY3 is down?
Is down. That's the worst time to be down.
No way.
Is my friend in Springfield safe to leave the basement? Yes. I would say so.
Oh,
Still
they're
very heavy rain.
KY3's on.
They might just now gotten on. Wow. Yeah. Wow. That's about as dangerous as it gets for supercell. Moving over a major population center, causing significant damage. There's a severe thunderstorm warning with a suitable tag.
For wind, I imagine.
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
Yeah. Max hail 1.25. 70-mile-per-hour winds. That's crazy.
KY3 is on it.
Yeah, now Sarah says I have KY3 on Roku. They are giving info.
Yeah. So maybe like their TV tower got hit.
Could be
Their
it.
transmitter might have gotten smacked around. And that could knock them off the air as far as TV. However, you can go on their website. I see they're on right now. On their live stream.
You know what they say?
No.
That's why you have to have multiple ways to receive warnings.
There you go.
Because what happens if the TV goes down? What happens if the radio
Yeah.
goes down? What happens if the cell phones go down? If that's your only way to receive warnings, so then you're done for.
Cool.
Man, what a storm. What a storm.
Area we're talking about high wind, Margie, is the Springfield. Pretty much the immediate downtown Springfield.
Yep. Hey guys, in Westville, Oklahoma, any bad storms today? So on a
little bit later on.
that's certainly a possibility.
Yeah.
I have questions about the instability. Because if these showers keep, I mean, look at that, there's more storms developing now.
But honestly, with everything moving so fast, maybe stuff will have time to recover.
Yeah, but
We'll see.
there's a lot of cloud coverage then, and then it's gonna.
Right.
So Carrie, we will have a way to do that soon. She's talking about like
Oh, yeah?
CRTV stuff, basically, like the 40.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, within about a couple weeks, a
Couple
week or two.
weeks. Yeah, a week or two. We're gonna have something for that. That's for sure.
So stay tuned. You got an inside exclusive on the stream.
Inside exclusive.
Another 87 miles per hour gust. Nixa. I hope I didn't butcher that.
You want to? What's crazy about this? It's so strong. That's like backed
Yeah.
like into the storm. That's crazy. Wow. Think it could hold its intensity farther east? I mean, there's quite a bit of 0 to 3 kilometer cape.
That has trended down, at least from when I last looked at the meso analysis.
Whoa. It's just so impressive.
Huh. The 0 to 3 kilometer layer cape has increased over us.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting. 35 knots. Bulk shear.
Woo! How's Berryville looking? Berryville, heavy rain, no tornado potential. The strong winds are east of you too, so you're in pretty good shape right now. But there will be additional thunderstorms throughout the rest of the day today, especially during the afternoon hours. Yeah, of course, KT. God bless you too, and yeah, have a great Tuesday. Let's see here. Any cameras you think we can look at to get a view of the storm as it's moving in? I can't think of any.
I mean, Harrison's the best we got.
It's the best we got. It's not doing great right now. Contrast is so bad.
Northwest. Yeah, you can only see a whole bunch.
Keeping an eye on it right now. Peyton, I am going to use the restroom real quick.
All right.
Because I need to take a break.
Yeah.
Haven't gotten one since like 2:30.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
It's been nonstop.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Let me get the stream deck open.
Not calm down a little bit.
Yeah, I know your phone is. Is it over here?
Where is it? Oh, over here.
Oh, all right.
We had tornado warning.
Yeah, you're doing everything at once. All right. So right now we're taking a look at these storms just in the area. Nothing crazy about them. Very crazy up here. So what I think I'll do is I think I'll go through the future track. Kind of show you what to expect, what's on tap for the rest of today. Just pull that out a little bit. Oh. All right. So here is the future track, the HRRR model for that was 7 p.m. So let me back up even more. What's going on right now? It's, we're comparing it to how it's handling right now. It's probably a little bit off in terms of handling the stuff. So we'll go throughout the morning. And one thing we'll have to watch for a little bit is, it's really cloudy. There's not a lot of fuel. There's not a lot of instability. The atmosphere can't really recover, is how we like to say it. So with that being said, I think there won't be as strong of convection in the afternoon for the most part. However, we will have to watch that afternoon time frame that will be the greatest threat for severe weather throughout the next few hours, heading to late afternoon and early evening. Then at night, more energy swings in and brings another chance for severe weather right around dinner time, maybe a little bit after. So, kind of a couple rounds, kind of a 1-2 punch in the late afternoon, and then again in the early evening. So, around lunchtime ish, and then a little bit later at night, right around dinner time. Haxall says, "Yeah, we need a trash can warning for Benton County. They're all over the place." So I bet. I remember seeing Greg Turner's stream and James Hilder saw a lot of trash cans flipped over, scattered about the streets of Bentonville. So step in time here to tomorrow morning. Yeah, this is tonight into tomorrow morning. 3 o'clock in the morning. A lot of energy swings in, and this is where we'll have to watch. We won't have a ton of instability to work with, but we will have a good amount of strong lift in the atmosphere. 4 ingredients for severe thunderstorms: shear, lift, instability, and moisture. We'll definitely have a lot of shear and a lot of moisture, but we won't have a lot of instability, but we will have a lot of lift. So we might be lacking one of those ingredients. So we'll definitely have to watch everything close and watch it evolve throughout the day. And now we're stepping into Wednesday morning. Then Wednesday afternoon, another round. So lots of rounds of severe weather. And this is Wednesday now. So 2 more rounds today, and then another round tomorrow that pushes through. I think the atmosphere will be able to recover for Wednesday, especially. But with this, there'll be a lot of heavy rain. So we'll definitely have to watch for flash flooding. We'll take a look at the excessive rainfall outlook Wednesday into Thursday. After all this rain, widespread flash flooding is possible throughout our Wednesday. So definitely have to watch for those effects as well. Well, what about that severe weather risk for today? I think this has been updated. So this is the severe weather risk for today as of right now. I'll go ahead and take myself off the screen. So yeah, tornadoes, 1 or 2 possible. We saw those tornado warnings earlier this morning as I was driving down here. Large hail possible, but again, we're looking at that hatched area. If you see at the bottom of your screen there, that hatched area means significant hail, which means 2 inches or greater. That's the size of a hen egg. And then damaging winds also possible. We could see winds up to 70 miles per hour. I don't think it'll be, 90 miles per hour like in Springfield. We could see some strong winds with these several rounds swinging on it. Then we go to the day 2 severe weather risk. So this would be the next day, Wednesday afternoon. Here's that severe weather risk. Tornado threat a little bit higher, south of I-40. Again, still on the low end, thankfully. And the large hail, not really a concern. I do think we could see some small hail, pea to nickel size. Maybe occasionally in LaFleur, Scott County could get up to that lucky number, that 1 inch, the size of a quarter. And damaging winds, too. We'll have to watch for that. Again, gusts could get as high as 70 miles per hour. Gary asking about safe to walk the dog at 1 o'clock. Eesh. Not really. Here's what we got on tap for the rest of the day. You can make it out. It'll depend on where you are. I think we might see, a few isolated showers and storms initially, but that'll grow more into a conglomerate. So it just kind of depends on where you are. If the storms are moving a little bit faster, then yeah, you'll just have to watch and see. Just take it easy. Watch the radar very closely, because models aren't going to handle this really fast confirmed tornado in Greene County and Webster County in Missouri. So if you know anyone that lives on the east side of Springfield, Northview, Marshfield, Fordland, Diggins, you need to let them know. Northview, yes, Stratford, tell them to take their tornado precautions because there is a confirmed tornado. Again, this is just east of Springfield. I'll bounce over there very quickly, real quick, but just having to watch. I know this is out of our weather coverage area, but we have friends and family in Southwest Missouri that might have more friends and family that might be just east of Springfield. So keep an eye on that fairly closely. But back to what could happen. Talking about walking the dog, getting out around lunchtime could be a little bit dicey. It's when we're expecting that round of the next kind of round of severe thunderstorms possible. But that'll push out by around 2, 3 o'clock. These storms will be moving really fast, so things will push on out of here fairly quickly. The storms will be moving around 45, 50, maybe even up to 60 miles per hour. We're talking about grocery shopping around 4 o'clock today. 4 o'clock might be a good time to get out of here. However, I say that's a good time as it looks as of right now. However, if things recover more, if the atmosphere recovers a little bit better in western Oklahoma and those storms are able to get fire in earlier, they will be moving fairly quickly, and they might be knocking on our doorstep right around 4. So for the most part, I would say you're pretty okay to go grocery shopping right now. Yeah, so 4 o'clock, not too bad as it looks as of right now. However, once we get towards dinner time, could be a little bit more dicey. We'll definitely have to keep a close eye on it around this evening, 7 o'clock. Here is that severe weather risk. This is for day 2. This is throughout Wednesday. I'll go to day 1 here. So, day 1 severe weather risk. This is for today. Get that enhanced down to the southwest. And just a slight area over us. We'll zoom in here a little bit. Here you can see some severe storms possible. We definitely saw that earlier this morning, the heavy rainfall, low end tornado threat. We saw a couple tornado warnings in the area. There's that risk. Just kind of stepping through Josh's show here. Take off the camera. But yeah. I would say tornado threat is definitely on a lot lower end right now. Now that the atmosphere is, a little bit more stable over us at least. And then large hail possible later on today. Hen egg size hail. That would be the main threat, is that possible 2-inch hail. And then damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour. Close eye on it. And here's a look at the future track. I'll just step through it once again here to go throughout the morning. 12 o'clock, it'll be a little close. I believe this might have just updated as well with the latest model run. So probably has the 12 Zulu time, which is 7 a.m. They only update, a few times a day for the long range, short range models, if that makes sense, the high resolution models. So 12 o'clock, it'll be pretty dicey. Someone was asking about letting the dog out. But as we step out in time, it'll go through pretty quickly, but we'll still have plenty of cloud cover, and that could help limit a little bit that severe weather potential for the evening. But we'll have to watch and see how Oklahoma, how the atmosphere over there recovers. Will those storms be able to blossom? Of course, once they move over here, they'll be in a little bit more of a capped environment. But we'll just have to keep a close watch on how things evolve over the next several hours. It's what we call nowcasting. Not a whole lot of forecasting, more so nowcasting. What's up?
Do you prefer the lights in any specific way, or just this is fine?
Yeah, this is fine.
Okay.
Just leave it how it is.
Need anything?
Nope.
All right.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Man. Just kind of bouncing back. It's like a mega Doppler. A Springfield radar. Just up to our north. But man, confirmed tornado near Stratford, moving east at 50 miles per hour. Let's take a look.
Thanks for
Very strong winds. See if there's any CC drops. Not seeing anything that's indicative. Yeah.
They finally put the observe tag on it.
Yep. Sure did. So I just tested the future track and the severe weather risk.
I think we
The
can.
severe weather threats.
Dan thinks there might have been a tornado in J. I agree.
In J.
Yep. When that storm initially went tornado warning
Oh, at 8 o'clock.
at 8 o'clock.
I woke up at 8:03. I looked at my phone. I saw that. I was like,
Yeah.
well, I was waiting to see if there was anyone else in there because I was like, as soon as you got up on the wall, I was like, is anyone else there?
Yeah.
And then I just took a lot of shortcuts in my morning routine. I'll say that, but I just booked it down here.
I've covered several storms in the early morning by myself. And that one, it was crazy because you had the tornado warning that was issued initially
Yeah.
for Delaware County and Benton County.
Mm-hmm.
And then a second tornado warning that was like the smallest polygon you'll ever see was on the second area of rotation. So I guess, I don't know. I'm kind of theorizing. I almost think that they were going to warn both, like in one polygon. But then, I guess, just chopped it out and said, all right, we'll warn the separate area. But it was like a little tiny area. And remember, Tulsa was issuing that tornado warning in northeast Delaware County. But Springfield has to issue it in southwest Missouri.
Yeah.
So that's why it was so small, and that was also why it was chopped off like that.
I think we lost our Gator Mountain.
Oh my
camera.
goodness!
We
You
just
gotta
got it
be
back
kidding me,
We
dude!
just got it back up.
You've got to be kidding me. But I just got done talking to Dan, and I agree. I think the severe weather risk this afternoon is pretty low for our area.
Because of all the cloud cover.
Yes, because even if we see storms move out, which I think will get breaks, there's just going to be cloud cover everywhere. The instability is not going to be able to recover. So I agree with that. We'll still keep an eye on it. We'll still be here watching it very closely.
And then tonight could be, a little bit more of a different story.
Tonight, I'm concerned about flash flooding.
Mm-hmm.
I know you probably already showed flash flooding risk, right?
I did, yeah.
Flash flooding risk is definitely on the higher end with this event for sure. And I mean, think about it. We've had storm system after storm system after storm system after storm system. I know we get breaks between them, but the ground is so saturated, it does not take a whole lot. I mean, I went out to the one thing I did see out in southwest Oklahoma was crazy flooding. The Red River is so high right now.
Man, that's crazy. I've never seen the Red River high.
Yeah, I've never seen it high either. But I'm like, what is it? Is this like the Arkansas River right now? Like, what's going on? It was moving. It was booking. But flash flooding potential is definitely going to be on the increase overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. So be aware of that as you head off to work and school. There will be more storms tomorrow afternoon. The storms tomorrow afternoon are interesting. Yeah. Especially in the River Valley. I would say along and south of Interstate 40, we'll have to watch that very closely for some tornado potential. The hail threat will probably drop off quite a bit. Damaging winds, another possibility. But it's just one of those patterns. And then more storms next week, probably.
Right. Yeah.
Never ending.
Never ending.
But just to make sure one more time here, I think we're going to go ahead and drop off here. We've been on for 2 hours. Perfect. 2 hours. But we really appreciate everybody tuning in, joining in. I know it was kind of a chaotic situation right at the beginning of the live stream. I go on the live stream. I'm like, okay, we're going to cover this severe weather. I start it right after the shows, and then bam, tornado warning. Yeah. Like, all right, here we go. Everybody here in the studio and stuff like that. We're like, all right, we're switching from good day to tornado coverage. But thankfully, it sounds like nobody was hurt here in Northwest Arkansas based on the report so far. That's good. We'll assess the damage in J. Grab it with straight line winds, by the way, confirmed from Dan. So if you were in Gravit, straight line wind damage, J, possible tornado, we'll see. And then we got more storms coming up this afternoon. So from Peyton and I, the legend, for coming in on such short notice.
I was booking
the man, the myth, the legend. I bet this man was rock and roll. He probably dumped the cat through that. Like, hey, bye.
Yep.
Yeah, bye. And he just got done umpiring yesterday too. So,
yeah.
So ringing up some storms. But anyway, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you guys so much. God bless you, and have a safe and happy rest of your Tuesday. Baja Blast.